camera footage, Carly is walking very slowly and she kind of turns in the direction of where we're told her bedroom is, where her mother is. She then walks quietly and quickly towards the opposite end of the house where Ashley and Heath Smiley's bedroom was. She got the gun from her mother's side of the bed. The gun was loaded. They had cubbies along the bottom of their bed, and the gun was on Ashley's side of the bed in one of the cubbies. And then you can see her coming back across the house with the gun behind her back. When she is walking past the entrance to the kitchen area, you can see where she looks into the kitchen almost to make sure that her mother has not left the bedroom and gone into the kitchen, but to make sure where her mom was. So she does not see her mom in the kitchen. She goes into the bedroom. She shoots her mom once, twice. You hear a thud on the ground. You hear a thud, and we're assuming that that is Ashley Smiley falling to the ground dead. And then Carly shoots her one more time, point blank in the face. It was less than 36 inches from her mother's face.
What's going on, you guys? AJ Tucker with AJ Self Defense, man. And once again, man, I want to talk about how an attack can happen from any time and anywhere. The number one place people are attacked is in their own home. And so you heard the introduction, you heard the story. So this right here is the girl. She just shot her mom, and now she took her mom's phone, unlocked it, and she's texting her stepdad. And she basically said, "Hey, honey, when are you coming home?" The stepdad says, "Hey, I'll be home in a little bit." He thinks he's talking to his wife. And so she's plotting over here, man. This is the text right here. She's plotting over here. And then when he gets home, she tries to shoot him. Luckily, he takes one to the neck, and he was able to take the gun away from her. But the fact that she was, whenever she went to court, they tried to plead insanity and stuff like that. But a lot of therapists, forensic therapists, and all that good stuff, they was like, look, the time that she sent that text, that lets us know that she was not in some psychotic state. This was premeditated. And so when they go back, and then there's one point where she was even singing in there. So she calls her friend, and she gets the friend over there, and she says, "Hey, I messed up." And she brings the friend in, asks her if she's squeamish, and she showed her the mom's dead body, and she said, "Hey, I put 3 in the mom. Now I'm about to put 3 in my dad." So this right here is her, texting her friend saying that, "Hey, I did something, I messed up." And she's in the room and she starts to sing, and it's just crazy, bro. So the Crime and Law Network has a full 35-minute video that has a breakdown that talks about the case. But to make a long story short, she was having issues and problems prior to this. So I guess 2 years ago, the stepdad started to notice issues with her, and then they found out that she was cutting and doing stuff like that. So they took her in to a therapist, and then they ended up putting her on Zoloft. And she said that medication kind of, makes her feel empty, like she has no emotion. And so they changed her medication. But then she started to write in her journal. This right here is the dad getting home, and she's trying to shoot the dad. He ends up calling the cops, man. I don't have the audio on here, but if you go to the Crime and Law Network, you can listen to the audio where the dad ended up calling the police. So back to the story, man. She does this, and there's 2 years worth of her going to therapy and stuff like that. But other than that, she's a good student. But when you look at her, and she's very respectful and stuff like that. But when you look at her journal, she has some pretty dark things on her journal. So back to the murder. After she does this, she's in court. And a week before she did the murder, she had a bunch of stuff put in her journal. But it looks like that she was kind of premeditating this thing. She was trying to make it seem like she was crazy, but she had this thing mapped out. The reason why I put this video up, man, because this is the very common thing. I'm not saying it's common for kids to kill their parents, but at this age, man, where, kids starts to have issues and they start to see therapists, and they, I think the mom ended up catching her, her burner phone, saw the fact that she was vaping and stuff like that. And so that kind of changed the relationship. And then shortly after that, that's when this thing occurred, man. So she goes to court, and the court just like, you know what, this was premeditated. They tried to give her a plea deal of 40 years, and she rejected that, and so they ended up giving her life. And I think they made the right call on this one. Some people are saying, "Oh, she's only 14 years old. That's her whole life." But I mean, no matter what the age is, man, the way she mapped this thing out, I mean, she pretty much did that. But the reason why I make this video, this one's a little bit longer than normal. I try to keep it at 3 minutes or shorter, but it's a very common thing. It's in the household. Now, people will talk about gun violence and you shouldn't have guns. You should have guns to protect yourself. I mean, that's just my opinion. But yes, she did. She did get a hold of the gun that was in the house. You got to keep those things locked up, man. You can't let the kids have easy access like that to the weapons. Um, but this story is here just to highlight an attack can come from anywhere, anytime. And you're looking out in this crazy and dangerous world, and you're trying to protect your kids, and then ends up that one of your kids ends up doing this to you. They commit matricide or patricide or whatever you want to call it. So that's all I got for this one, man. Sad story, man, but just wanted to highlight these things whenever they come up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll see you on the next one.